All right, let's dive in today exploring Spanish prepositions.
Ooh, fun.
You know, those words that can really trip you up
Yeah,
when you're trying to get directions
exactly.
or just describe where something is,
Yeah, prepositions, they're small but mighty.
aren't they? We've got a cool YouTube video to guide us
Oh, nice.
from, it's called Hola Amigos Bilingües Howard YouTube,
Catchy.
hosted by Jaime.
Huh?
He uses visuals with a box and a ball,
Smart.
so it's easy to see what he's talking about.
I like that. Visual learning.
Yeah, it makes it much easier. So he starts with the basics like cerca de,
Near.
for near, and lejos de,
Hmm.
for far from simple enough. But I noticed something interesting.
What's that?
That little word de, it's always after cerca and lejos.
Right. It shows how Spanish emphasizes connections.
Ah.
It's not just near something, it's near of something.
Oh, so the relationship is key.
Exactly. And you see it again with a la derecha de,
On the right of.
yep, and a la izquierda de, on the left of.
Right, same pattern,
That de is like a linguistic glue.
holding it all together. Now, o frente de and delante de.
Ah, yes. Both mean in front of.
There's a difference.
Subtle, but important.
You may have said on frente de is like facing each other.
It is. Like a conversation, there's an interaction there.
Almost like you can't have en frente de without someone,
Right. Well, delante de is just being in front,
no matter which way you're facing.
precisely. And of course, the opposite is detrás de, for behind. So we've got front, back, left, right.
We're building our spatial vocabulary.
We are. And we need different tools for different jobs.
Like, what else is there?
Well, entre means between.
Simple.
So nice and straightforward, like the concept itself.
Starting to see how these words reflect how Spanish speakers.
Think about space, yeah?
Yeah, it's not just grammar, it's like a window.
Into their worldview, absolutely.
Now, we have two ways to say next to.
We do. Al lado de or junto a.
Two sides of the same coin.
You could say that. Different shades of meaning, maybe.
I like that. So then we get to encima de and sobre.
Uh-huh. Both mean on top of in English. Good T.
But there's a nuance.
Encima de is direct contact, like your phone on the table.
Ah, okay.
While sober could be hovering above or just resting.
Or general, then.
You got it. And then there's debajo de, for under.
The opposite of encima, basically.
You could say that. Essential preposition.
Totally. And dentro de and fuera de for inside and outside.
Can't get lost without those.
Right? Imagine trying to ask for directions.
Or describe your apartment.
Exactly. And to wrap up our little tour of spatial words,
Oh, yeah?
we've got alrededor de, meaning around.
Like a circle of something?
Or fence, maybe?
Perfect. So now we've got all these tools.
It's amazing how much we covered in just a few minutes.
We did. And Jaime has a great challenge for everyone watching.
Oh.
To describe their surroundings using what they just learned.
I like that. Makes you really think about it.
It does. And that's what language learning's all about, isn't it?
This deep dive has been eye-opening, I gotta say.
Me too.
Prepositions are more than just location. They're like...
Connections, perspectives, even culture, yeah.
Totally. And we've just scratched the surface.
We have. There's so much more to uncover, especially when we start talking about verbs.
Ah, yes, verbs. The engine of any language.
They are, and Spanish verbs are a whole world unto themselves.
Can't wait to dive into that in part 2.
It's going to be a wild ride. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back after a short break.
All right, ready for some verb action?
Oh, yeah. Bring it on. Verbs, they're the heart of the sentence.
They are the engine that makes everything go.
But in Spanish, they can be a little, well...
A little tricky.
Yeah, all those conjugations.
It's true. Verbs change depending on who's doing the action.
Right, like I speak versus he speaks.
Exactly. And in Spanish, those changes are even more noticeable.
More than in English, for sure. So how do we make sense of it?
Well, we start with conjugation. That's how verbs change based on the subject, like I, you, he, she, we.
Each pronoun gets its own special ending on the verb.
You got it. Let's take hablar to speak as our example.
Okay, habla.
The stem is hablar. Now, if I speak,
Yo habla.
perfect. You added the O ending for yo.
Right, for I. And for you, it's tú hablas.
With an as ending. And for he or she, it's el habla or el habla.
Ah on the end.
Exactly. See, there's a pattern,
Yeah, each pronoun has its own ending.
and it stays consistent.
Mhm.
So for we speak, it's nosotros hablamos.
Okay,
Vosotros habláis for you all. That's more common in Spain.
right.
And ellos hablan, or ellas hablan, for they.
So it's not totally random. There's logic to it.
There is. It's a system once you learn the endings.
It makes more sense. But that's just the present tense, right?
For now, yes.
Yeah.
We'll get to the other tenses soon enough.
Because verbs also change to show when something happens.
They do. Past, present, future all have different forms.
Let's stick with the present for a bit.
Good plan. It's the most basic, but also quite versatile.
How so?
Well, in Spanish, the present tense can also mean I am speaking.
Oh, interesting.
So yo hablo could mean I speak generally, or I'm speaking right now.
Context is key.
It is. Same verb form, slightly different meaning.
That's cool. One word doing double duty.
It's what makes languages so fascinating.
Absolutely. But we've barely scratched the surface here.
We have. There's so much more to Spanish verbs.
Like all those other tenses.
We got past tenses, future tenses, all sorts of fun stuff.
I think my brain needs a break before we tackle those.
Fair enough. We've covered a lot today. Let's pick up next time with those more complex tenses.
All right, back to those Spanish verbs. Ready to tackle the past and future.
Let's do it. We left off talking about tenses.
Right, those can be a bit tricky.
Well, the past tense in Spanish, it has a couple of main forms that people get mixed up.
I've heard of the preterite and the imperfect, yeah.
Those are the ones. Think of the preterite like a snapshot.
The snapshot.
Yeah, it's a single completed action in the past. Like, I ate breakfast. It's done, finished. The Spanish predicado comi captures that.
From the verb comer, to eat.
Exactly. So it's for actions that are clearly over and done with.
Makes sense. Then what's the imperfect for?
The imperfect is more like a video recording, showing an ongoing action or something you used to do repeatedly.
Like a habit.
Right. If you wanted to say, on Sundays, I used to play soccer with my friends, you'd use the imperfect.
How would you say that in Spanish?
Los domingos, jugaba el fútbol con mis amigos.
Jugaba. That's the imperfect of jugar, to play.
It is. So it paints a picture of that repeated Sunday activity.
Ah, so preterite is like a photo, imperfect is like a film.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
But of course, language isn't always that simple.
Right, there are always gray areas.
Sometimes the choice depends on the context, what you want to emphasize.
I guess it just takes practice to get a feel for it.
It does. The more you use the language, the more natural it becomes.
Now, what about the future? How do we talk about upcoming plans in Spanish?
Well, there's the simple future tense.
Like, I will speak.
Exactly. You just add endings to the infinitive form of the verb.
So for hablar, it would be hablaré.
Perfect. Simple and direct.
But I bet there's another way to express the future.
You bet there is. A very common one uses a plus the infinitive.
AA, that means to go to.
Right. So if you want to say, I'm going to eat pizza tonight.
You'd say, voy a comer pizza esta noche.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It emphasizes your intention, like you're already planning to do it.
It feels more immediate, like it's definitely happening.
It does. And you already know air, so it's easy to use.
This has been quite the deep dive, from prepositions to verbs and tenses.
We've covered a lot of ground, it's true.
It's amazing how all these pieces fit together to create meaning.
It is. It's like a giant puzzle, and we're just starting to see the picture.
Spanish is such a rich and expressive language. It's really fascinating.
Absolutely. And remember, learning a language is a journey.
It's not about being perfect. It's about exploring.
Exactly. Embrace the challenges, celebrate your progress, and keep learning.
Well said. I feel inspired to keep practicing and discovering more about this wonderful language.
That's the spirit. And thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Hasta la próxima.